Hey guys, so now, last time I showed you how I use dry brushing to get a good effect for creating light and shadow on a miniature at the beginning of the painting process. This time we're going to go and we're going to create a non-metallic metal effect on the shoulder pad trim of one of the minis, Space Marine Intercessor, for the Dark Angel. And we're only going to use these 5 paints that we have right here. So just to read it out in case you don't see them, we've got Art White by Scale Color Artist, Naples Yellow, Yellow Ochre, Dark Violet, and Vallejo Ice Yellow. Alright, so to start with, we're going to start with Yellow Ochre. Just move these other paints here for the minute. Because there's our Yellow Ochre. Now you want a damp brush, not overly wet, just damp. If you have paper towel, you can use that to make sure you don't have too much water on there. But we're largely going to use the consistency of the paint as it is with that damp brush. Might thin it just a little bit. But we don't want too much water. Just wipe off the excess on a piece of towel. Then you bring over your Intercessor miniature. And we get to work. Start by base coating roughly all over. Now, a lot of you guys might be thinking, oh, thin your paints. We're not doing that this time. Not to that extent, anyway. Not like Duncan would. The reason for that is because in this miniature, we're not trying to shy away from texture. This guy, this Dark Angel, he's been in the wars. You'll know it. You see his armor, it's not perfect. Okay, so believe it or not, that, while it's a bit patchy, is a really good base coat for what we want to do. Okay, so next we're going to add in a bit of Naples Yellow. We're going to mix that sort of 50-50 here. So we want to create a step in the highlight. Okay. So the way I'm positioning the light coming down, I want this highlight to be down here. So I'm going to start building it towards this end and back towards this end. Okay. Now we're not going to go too heavy with bounce highlights. We might put one up here and one down here, and that'll work because we'll build in a shadow effect in a minute. Okay, so just make sure we've got sort of good coverage. You can bring it back down a little bit to build up that gradient, so don't go all the way back like you were the first time. Alright, I'm just going to apply a little bit of this ice yellow to my palette. Not going to use it yet. Going to go straight into pure Naples yellow. Starting to get a nice bright effect there. Can just hit the edges as well. Really refine those. Just do that with the edge of your side of your brush. Don't worry about trying to hit it with the tip. Now I'm going to add in a touch of this ice yellow. We're going to bounce up the highlight again, create a really big shift towards white. So we're not going to go all the way back because we want to back towards the mid-tones because we want to preserve those. Otherwise we'll lose the saturation of the gold. But this is starting to really show a reflection. You probably can see that on your end. Yeah, that's good. So with that bounce highlight, we'll go up to the Naples yellow. But we won't go any further than that, because we want those highlights to be subservient to the main highlight that we have here, less powerful. Applying pure ice yellow on this edge. We're bringing it in. Just gonna scratch that up those edges. Okay. Now we're going to do a glaze. We're going to use the dark violet to add contrast into the mid-tone and create a shadow. So we're going to add water to this paint here, as you can see on the palette there. We want it to be quite thin, but we don't want too much on our brush. So wipe off the excess, and this is what we want, barely even there. Alright, so let's apply that away from those highlights. Now let's push those highlights again. And I want more from them. And get a bit of white on our palette ready for the next step. you go. Now to get a bit more vibrancy back into the yellow, we're going to use the Naples yellow as a glaze. From the shadows to the midtones. Tad just needs more colour back in. Now, is it perfect? Nah. But is it good enough for a tabletop job? Hell yeah. You can take it a little further. I'm just going to apply a little bit of white. Just pure white. Down here in this corner. And run it along the edges here. I think that looks great. Hopefully that'll be a repeatable result for you guys. Give you a nice good look at it. And from there, you can do non-metallic metal all over the shoulder trim of any of your minis that you like. Let me know what you'd like to see next. Thanks, guys.